I can remember at the beginning of my youth ministry, there was a mom who only had one child. And this child was going off to college. And she and I were close. I was close with her son and the whole family. And she confided in me that she was just terrified about sending her child to college because she thought about what would become of me if he dies. What if something bad happens and I lose my child? And I can remember, saying to her something that was not helpful. And we had a good enough relationship where she could tell me it was not helpful. And then I can remember something that my pastor, Mark Upton, had shared with me in Charlotte, and that was this idea of provisional grace. And that is, the reason that she could not imagine losing her son is because she hadn't lost her son. The reason that I cannot imagine losing my spouse is because I haven't lost my spouse. I have lost a child, but I haven't lost a spouse. I can imagine that. And, the thing is that, God does not call the equipped. He equips the called. And so something that I think is very comforting for parents as they worry about, what would happen to them if they lost their child, and they constantly think about and spiral as they consider, their worst nightmare of their child dying, is to remember that it hasn't happened. And if it does happen, God will give you the grace. I could not imagine losing my child before he died. But then it happened, and that's not to say it was easy. It was extraordinarily painful, but, for each day, God gave us the grace we needed for that day. One of the first hard things we had to do after we left the hospital is we had to go back into our house where he had died and go into his room. And we just sat on his bed weeping, and we kept on saying over and over again, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? And I just remembered what my pastor in Charlotte had taught me, and that was, we just need grace for today. We just need grace for the day. And so when I am on the scene, if there's been a tragedy, and as a pastor, I go to someone's house or I go to the hospital, really the best piece of advice I give a person is I say, look, you're gonna need to depend on grace for just today. Maybe grace for just this morning. And then you're gonna need to worry about grace for this afternoon, and then worry about grace for tonight, and then worry about grace to sleep. And, and have just a very disciplined mentality of don't worry about tomorrow. Just trust the Lord for his grace today. And what you find is in each day, God will give you the grace you need to make it through that day.